Okay, we're going to try to record this video again now that I got my iPad working here. All right, I'm going to stop this because there's no host. All right, so let's talk about this Noises plugin. First of all, it is pretty much considered sort of a Rompler, but it's not necessarily a Rompler because there's things like you can bring your own sounds in, right? So it's an instrument that I can say for sure. It's not going to be an effect that you just put in an effect slot and use it. It's definitely an instrument, and it only works in the instrument slot anyway. You have eight different sounds that can be played, you know, within one preset, if that makes sense. So you see it moving. I'm gonna turn the trip off so it don't distract you. But you have 8. When they're yellow, they're on. When they're not, they're off, right? Down below each one is a pitch and volume. So each sound can be, you can turn the volume up or pitch. Now everything else that you see around here, all these others, the filter, the crusher, the performance, the trip, all work as a unison, as a whole. So they work together. And then these down here can be independently, you can change your volume or pitch on each one. So if you look here, there's a ton of factory presets, right? You can see, I'm just gonna scroll through. Then you have user presets, that's you when you create something. So I'm just gonna pick one. Let's just pick Subtle Bed, whatever that is. So you hear it going, it's like cosmic chords is what they use for Subtle Bed. So you have the preset itself, and then the bank that exists within the preset. That makes sense? So watch this. So you hear it going. If you hit the minus, it will delete this. If you hit the plus, you can add. Or if you hit here, you have it, and then they'll show you information. This is what it is, what it comprises in this particular bank. And if you hit the wheel, they give you the information. They give you an image, which you can put your own image in there, which is kind of cool. So these sounds came from, looks like a Juno 60. Cosmic Chords is one of the related tonal banks. So they basically use the Juno 60 to create these different sounds. So you could put up to 8 sounds together. You get to name your preset. And this arrow allows you to download it. This one deletes it. And then you can preview each sound. Okay, so it looks like they use some type of chords, and this is, you can read all this information. I'm not going to read it, but you can read all their information. So we'll make one together, but for right now, let me finish explaining. So you have 8. Whichever ones are in yellow are the ones on, and that's what it's cycling through. This trip meter over here allows you to adjust the speed. So if you turn the speed up, it's going to go crazy. You see it's moving. Turn it down, it's going to go slow. And it's moving this way, right? Backwards and forwards through here. And then the fuzzy is if you want to add fuzz to it, right? You have a cutoff, a resonance, and then you can do random. Now, if it's random, it's just going to pick, again, random spots to go to. So see how it jumps here, and then it might jump over here or up here, wherever it's going to go. If you use this pin mode, then it'll actually travel whatever you set it for. This is the output. Turn it up a little bit. So you have the level, the output, and you can see how I can just pitch the whole thing or slowly have attack or release. So you have, and then you basically have a host, right? So let's say right now I have it in standalone. So if you're using it in your host, like AUM or whatever, you can put it on host, and your host will control that when it starts. In freeform, it's literally just playing. Right now it's triggered, so it's playing. You have a filter and a resonance, and you can touch here, and you have the notch, the band pass, the high pass, the low pass, right? The different ones. So you can adjust it, or if you don't want a filter, just turn it off. Then you have a crusher. Change the bits from 16 to 2. And then a mix of how much of that is in the... And then you can route it a little different. So you could have the crusher come before the filter. Right? That's your choice of how you want to route it. To change it. So all of these are like basically effects that you can use to help create the sound. So whatever sounds are on, it can filter, or it can travel between those sounds. You slow the sound down a little bit, then it'll play more of the sample. Okay, so, and you can do different things like cutoffs and adjust the resonance. Have it do random. See, it'll jump to different ones. Then if you just want to randomize everything in here, you can hit this random button and it'll change this to your bank. Right? And give you one of the randoms in here. But if you want to use their stuff, these are their presets right here. The banks are not your preset. The presets are up here. These are the banks where what sounds are in that preset. Because you could change the sounds. So you could go into this wheel, and if you didn't like one of these sounds, you could just say, I don't want that one. I'm going to switch it out and put something else. And they tell you what they used here. So the average person would pick this up and say, that doesn't use this kind of stuff all the time, and would probably say, I don't need this. This is not worth it to me. But if you're trying to create something that has some type of random texture, or you want, there's a way you could do it. You could get a filter. You could get a bit crusher. You could get something to pitch it. You could get something to give you some fuzzy sounds and adjust the speed, obviously. But this is kind of cool that it's all built into one and allows you to do that. All right, so now let's talk about building your own. So this trigger button, you can turn it off, by the way, if you want it to stop, and then turn it on when you want it to keep going. Or you can put it on the host, like I said, it'll sync. All right, so if you wanted to build your own, I'm gonna go to this initial, INIT bank, which is just basically a blank one. You can pick one of these in here. You can download more banks if you have them, or you can create your own, which is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna hit the wheel. I'm gonna clean out all of these. Well, I'm not trying to delete it, just wanna remove it from here, yeah. So this delete is just removing it from here. Oops. I'm just gonna remove that, and we'll change this from filter. Cancel, hold on a second. Should be one in here, oops. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm gonna use this one where I made it, but I'm gonna show you. So I took some random stuff. I'm gonna actually remove and delete this. Now I just called it Crazy Me. You could add in a picture if you have that. So if you had, like, let's say you have a synth and you want to use some random sounds in there, you could do that. Pretty simple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the cloud. I don't show here. Let me see. Edit the sidebar. There we go. Turn that on. Done. All right, so cool. So I'm gonna go to my drums. That's where I keep everything pretty much in here. I think I have some cymatic stuff that might work. Okay, here we go. So it's a live ambient. So I'm gonna add in like an ocean sound. I'm gonna go and back into there. I hate that it doesn't just go right back to where you were. That's kind of annoying a little bit, I must say. I'm gonna add in, let's see, percussion. Let's see if we can Just put in some super random stuff. All right. This is annoying me, but I can't do anything about it until I go back. I meant to turn that off before I got in there. All right, let's see, drums. I'm gonna go here, pick some more live ambience. We'll put a little rain in there. We'll go back to the drums and find some more stuff to put in. Lo-fi vibes. No, let's not use that. Let's use some of this office percussion stuff. A rubber band. So if you want to listen to them, okay, and then I'm going to put in one more. So on this one, drums, percussion, I'll put that in. Let's do one more. I want to put as many in as I can so that you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to grab, if you got Foley, that's the stuff to grab sometimes. So maybe some vinyl crackle. I'm just going to throw in more. Oops. I have some more Foley. Or let's put in, here's some robot sounds. What is that? All right, let's do that. All right, cool. That's weird. That's some vinyl crackle. It's a shaker. So this is the most random. That's why it's good I called it Crazy Me, because it's definitely crazy. All right, so here we are. We picked Crazy Me. Turn the trigger off for right now. And so now we're going to play it. You can hear it's not moving, so it's sitting. These notches represent it's on one sound, right? You can see where it blends to the next sound. So it's right here. It starts changing to the next sound, and then it changes. Now, so we're going to do, I'm going to turn the phase up. I'm going to turn the trigger on, and I'm going to start pitching stuff. But I'm going to go here first, actually. Let me pitch that down. Pitch that one up. Pitch the rain down a little bit. So you see, I'm just making adjustments. I'm gonna leave that one regular. Pitch that one high. Okay. I don't think there's anything on 8. Now that I think about it, let's go back. Yeah, there's nothing on 8. I don't know what I'm doing there. All right, no sound on 8. So I'm just going to turn 8 off so that when it cycles, it only cycles through the 7, right? I'm going to turn on trip. Add some fuzz, maybe slow the speed down. So you'll see here it tells you 2 bars. Maybe I should grab this pen. That might help you to see it. 4 bars, 16 bars. That's really slow. You can put it on time. So adjust that. Maybe want a slower attack. Turn the bit rate down. How much you want in the mix. The filter's not even on, so I'm gonna turn the filter on. Adjust the cutoff. I'm gonna change this to So you see, this is like never ending. You can sit here and play with this all day, like trying to adjust your performance stuff. How you want it, how fast you want it to go. Slow you want it to go. This kind of stuff can be done in Drumbo, I feel like. If there's any place you could get it done without having to buy this app, you could do it in Drumbo. But here's my thing. Do you want to be stuck in Drumbo? Well, first of all, do you even use Drumbo? Second thing is, do you want to be stuck in Drumbo? Because whereas you can use Drumbo in other areas, I personally would rather have an app that's built to do this, where I can save presets. And I can save the sounds in the presets versus trying to build something that's like it. But some people got it like that. They like to take the time and build all the... I just don't have a lot of time to be doing all that. It's not my thing either. So like I said, you can touch there. You can build your own. We kind of did that here. Now, I'm going to turn the trigger off. So if you're going to build your own too, make sure you save the preset after you've built this bank and call it, you know, Crazy Me or whatever you're going to call it. I'm just making something up here. Crazy Me. It's saved, right? So now it matches here. You don't have to match it here with this. You could call the preset something different. I'm just doing that so you can see, but just save it. Hit your trigger when you want it on. If you really want to get random mode, put your random on there. And you notice as it randomizes, the filter changes a little bit too. I'm going to go with 8-bit. Or you can go with 12-bit maybe. Yeah, so you don't have to use the trip meter. If you want to do something manually, you could be like, scroll through it manually and capture sounds. What's cool is you don't have to use this thing for like live performance-wise. And you can turn off something here. If you don't want one of these on, you could take it off. And then it just bypasses that one. So if you want to blend these two sounds together, you see you can be kind of in between them and use those. Or you can turn the trip meter on, have that random going, or pin, or this, where it's just dragging slowly based on the speed you put. So like the volume may be too loud. You want the volume down. Turn the volume down on it too, on certain ones. Like that one's really loud. I kind of like the random so that it just picks spots and hits it every now and then. So it's... Okay, so I know this is boring for a lot of people because it's like, what in the world are you doing? But the ideal here is to create noise, right? That's all we're doing is just building. I'm gonna take that one off. If there's a sound you don't like, then go back in and just get rid of it. Like, I don't really care if it's glitch. It's kind of weird. Make sure you save it so it... And that's kind of what it is. Make sure you save. Okay. Okay, So now I'm going to stop it. All right. So is this for everybody? No, absolutely not. Some people don't like this kind of stuff. That's just not their thing. And that's okay. But for me, I like it. When I'm in my mood where I want to make some type of ambient type of randomness or whatever, and I need some type of background noise, I could either go real bland and just put like somebody walking on some leaves or something that's typical. Or I could try to create, this is one of my favorites, breathe in space. Sounds like somebody's breathing, literally. And you can get some real, if you get the right sounds, like I showed you something real crazy and abstract, but if you get the right sounds together, like this is amazing to me. And this is kind of, looks like somebody used maybe, says the third bank in the cosmic set is dedicated to the top line of harmonics. That is just really interesting to me. So if you can find some files that maybe sound very similar and then chop them up and then have them as separate samples, that's basically what I feel like you're doing. And then you bring it in and you're creating this environment, and then you can adjust the pitch and maybe only use, like if I want to put on another noise, let's see how it sounds if I throw one more on. It's interesting, but I do like it without it. So the less sound you have, the less notches you have, by the way. You can see the notches represent how many sounds. So if I add one, you'll see it goes to 4 on this meter. So what's cool about that is if you only have like 3 sounds, you can have this long drawn thing that goes, or you can make it go fast. And come up with some interesting noises. The noises that you bring in are going to make the difference in how well the sound is. If you bring in some trash sounds, it's going to sound trash. That's just what it is. So you are really responsible for making sure your noises sound good. The stuff they give you is excellent. And you can follow in line with their examples and see what they do. Conspiracy of a Fish Folk. Now that sounds crazy, but I like it. Let's see. So here's one where they're only using one sound and it's just some noise. So maybe you want to use 2 or 3 sounds. Turn the trip meter on. And it's set to random, but we're going to I mean, it's incredible. You can take their stuff and really just use it. I think it sounds so good. I mean, you can come up with all kinds of background noises. So think of it that way. It's a noise app, but it's primarily for you to create textural backgrounds that you can build over the top. So what I did was, on this previous video where I kind of showcased it, was I used one of their presets, manipulated it a little bit, and then I added chords in with it. So it just gave some basic FM, I think it was King of FM I used, some basic DX type chords over it with that blended, and gave it a different, unique sound in its own way. So it's an instrument, use it, and I think you'll enjoy it. I really like it a lot, but I like this kind of stuff. So I am weird in that way, I guess. Okay, so there you have it. It works well in AUM. So you can definitely go there and do that. Add it in, you know, and if you really want to get crazy with it, so I'm gonna put like watch this. You can do, okay, first of all, you can adjust this, by the way. So you can see it. Where is it? I'm gonna find one. Conspiracy of the Folk. That was the one we were just on. So you could do that, and then come in and do some like, let's see, did I have a chamber? Oh, dark synth hole. Interesting. Let's For some reason, I like to change the mix. How much is in the mix? Then put some type of delay over the top or something that you... I like this one. Sometimes I come in and just do random. And even see how I'm building like delay loops over the top of that. If you really want to get fun, what's that other one that I like so much that I think it's in the same family? Yeah, Gauze, that one. Turn the monitor on. And then you can like record. So then you can record loop parts and then start manipulating them. I love a mutate button. Can't go wrong with that. So that's the speed of where it's going. So anyway, yeah, there's so many ways to, or maybe even throw like a filter step over and use their random. You can just randomize till you find something you like, right? And come up with sounds. And maybe put another one in and start building from there. Maybe some chords. I'm gonna use chord tonality just for the sake of time, because I feel like well, I didn't mean to do that, but chords, boom. Hide that for a second. Pick some chords. All right, let's pick a sound in here. Factory, did this work? Nope, I never got that to work for some reason. Let's do keys. Ooh, I like that. So you see what I mean? Like you could just create like this cool, and I'm just playing with like 4 or 5 chords. It's not even that much. And then the way I like to do it sometimes is I'll put the mix up here. Go ahead and throw the mix through there. So you see I'm just running the mix over to here. That's all I'm doing. Then come in here and you can run Koala, which is one of my favorites. Everybody knows that. Make sure you turn on, right? Turn this on. Boom. So now you see you have can't see if you don't see it. So you might take that, and if your tempo is 120, you stretch it, you say, okay, that's 4 bars. Pretty cool. So now I'm gonna play some chords over it. And this can be like that. Put this over here. So you can either record the chords in or record it to this. However you want to do it. I'm gonna do this. Okay. There you go. Boom, and then adjust it. Okay, so I'm just doing this really quick. And then sometimes I'll label these because I'm terrible at coming back and remember what in the world I actually played. So if that's you, label your chords. So hit the label button. You forget that was A7, not flat 9. So A7, and then in parentheses, just hit a flat 9. Okay, close that out. Boom, you see? Now I wish this was black. I'll be honest, these letters are really hard to see. In my opinion, they're very hard to see. This is a G7 sus4. So go here, label G7 sus. You can lowercase that. That looks weird. Well, I was going to try to do that. Sus4. Boom. And then this one is F major 9. Label major 9. Return. Good. And then C major 9 on the first one. Crop it. Label C major 9. Done. Okay, cool. So now you have that. So then you can so you only have 4 here. Let me loop it. All right, so I wish that was louder. So I either got to record it louder or do like this. Stack it, mix. That's good enough. And by the way, since there's no undo on this, you're pretty much stuck. So if you feel like you might mess up, you might want to make yourself an extra copy. I'm fine with that. And I did, because I stacked it, I lost the note or what it is. It's a G7 sus. So I will have to label it again. 7 sus. Sus4, I think it was. Yep. All right, cool. So again, now you can start doing your sequencing. So we'll make that double up 4 bars. And then we'll touch there and drag up. There. Okay. And then I kind of know what I want to do, but I want to play it This has got to be fixed though. This is kind of a shame that we can't see. Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna double it up to 8 bars, and then I'm gonna play over it. So I'm gonna hit the record there and just go in here. I feel like, oops, undo that. Okay, so it's not the greatest work ever. It's not a masterpiece, that's for sure. But you get the idea of how you can take it and use noises to accompany. And then you would go in and use your import, start bringing in some drums, right? So maybe go back to the coupe kit, get a kick. Set it on one shot, go in back to this one and grab snare. One of the things I like to do with snares is I'll EQ. So you can either do EQ or you can go to like the tone, just to warm it a little bit to make it sound not so bright. If you want this bass here, you can do that, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna leave it. And I'm playing it through this iPad speaker just because, for sake of time purposes. If I was, and also I gotta be a little quiet too, but if I was, didn't have nobody sleeping right now, I would play it through where you could hear it louder. Right, low. I might grab that. I'm just gonna grab that one and an open hat, wherever it is. That's fine. I cut that off like that. One shot that. And I like to put these on a choke group. All right. This is a little, there. Go ahead and crop it. All right, so then I'm barely hearing this, so I'm gonna turn it up a little bit louder, just a little bit. All right, so turn the record on. I'm gonna see if it'll work on this iPad. I'm gonna do a pre-roll. Sometimes it'd be off, so let's just try it. So it's a little off. For some reason, it gets off when you do it works, but every time we get an update or something, I find it to be terribly off. So it kind of frustrates me a little bit, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. So let's just see what it sounds like. Yeah, it's a little annoying. It's kind of off. Well, this one is off because I made it off. That's my fault there, but all right, let's try it again. And then the chords too. So you can tell because like when you try to go put a beat, oops, undo what I did there. A beat on it, it gets all off. So let's just, unfortunately, I'll have to lower that. And then let's see if we do that. And then do this. All right. Let's see what that sounds like. So then I need another, either another chord here, and then I could follow out with this, or I could go maybe like that, make it 2 bars on the last part. See if it'll hold. There we go, perfect. So then I'd go in and just do, so you could use the piano roll if you want it, or the note repeat rather if you want to. Turn the velocity on. All right, so let's do that. These are trap, kind of like trap. Okay. So I'll usually just, I'll just add that part in. So like whatever note I feel like it should hit on, which I think is this one. Yeah. And I'll change the velocity on that one just a little bit because it's only, you only hear it one time. Okay. Boom. There you go. So you see how it creates that nice atmosphere. You can use this stuff in trap music. You can use it whatever you want to use it in. It's kind of cinematic in its own way. It kind of creates a, I don't know, creates this little cool pad atmosphere thing going on. And if you want to sit it in the back where it's not so loud, you could always just turn it back a little bit in the volume, maybe like that. Where it's just riding across the background to thicken the sound up a little bit. And then come over it with a melody and a bass line. Save as. I tend to name songs what they sound like or what they type of music they are. BPM, cool. Save. And then, you know, you just gotta put it in your Koala songs. Boom, move it there. And then save it here. If you're gonna save it, you better save it in both spots or you'll lose what you had. So this is noise demo, or noise. We'll call it noise. R&B, trap, whatever. Boom. And I think it's good to put at least the BPM. If nothing else, put the BPM. Sometimes I'll put the actual key it's in. In this case, it's A minor C, so I'm not going to stress it though because it's already there. So I can just pull this up and look. That's why I saved it in here. Plus I labeled the chords here so I can kind of figure that out myself. So you see what I'm saying? Pretty cool. So there you have it. I used a couple apps particularly focused on noise for you. This is a long video. I wasn't intending on doing it this long, but I think it's good for you to see it, just to see a way you can use it. And I kind of built it while on the fly of doing it. And you got a demo of kind of what noise is. So you can kind of tell if you like it or if it's not for you. And I get it either way. Like, you just figure out what you like. For me, it's kind of cool. It's not a toy that I would use every single time I make a song, but if I need some noise, I want some texture in the back, I'll pull it out in a heartbeat. And I don't always have to make my own. I'm cool with using what's in there and just tweaking what's already there. So yeah, just depends on what you like. All right, I'm out.